just learned that.
Come on, you know it.
I did not. Never heard it before.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So we begin with praise. Hello, KZOOMers. And that's the hallelujahs are just coming through here. And I see, Joan, you made it here for the first time. Welcome, welcome. And David, David Rapsky, you have to sing. You can't just sit there, you have to sing.
My brother. I need you.
Hallelujah, coming through ya. So we come together for practice, and we need it, and this world needs us in the place, in the elevated place,
Yes.
and not in the dump. So we raise ourselves up with practice. So the kind of love at the center theme this week has to do is guided by this verse that I call beloved, and it says, "Ani ledodi," I am my beloved's, "V'dodi li," and my beloved is mine. And the way, there's no way to talk about God except through metaphor. But the metaphors we use really kind of shape us and guide us, and we know it's a metaphor, but that metaphor has a power to us. And when we call God beloved, we are also calling ourselves the lover, and we are raising ourselves up through the power of love to be in connection with the universe, really. And when we say Anila Dodi, we're also saying we belong to each other. And we're saying that to each other, but to the whole world, that I belong here, and you belong, and that I am integral to this all of this beauty. And I step into, and I step up to the power of love. And it was, since I've been so into, praise lately, to understanding the power and purpose and benefit of praise, I realized that, that the Song of Songs is really a praise of love. It's of love itself. And so this is, these words, I am my beloved, and it could be even translated is that that's what I'm for. I am for my beloved. That's why I'm here, really. And my beloved is for me. Rumi says that to find the beloved, you must become the beloved. So we raise ourselves up into this place of the best in us. So one of the teachers that I've learned from over the years is Jean Houston. She has a book called The Search for the Beloved. And she says that the search for the beloved is the lure of human becoming. The search for the beloved is the lure of human becoming. As you allow the beloved to grow within you, you will discover a steadfastness to the spiritual journey that comes your way in the most remarkable fashion. It will seem that you have been clearly put on a journey of transformation that provides for a deep maturation of the psyche and access to the potentials of your own being. I love that. So this deep maturation of the psyche and access to the potential of your own being. That's what it means to to be on this path, to be lured into becoming. So as we chant these words, as we are speaking to reality, to life itself, we are declaring our connection to it all. And we are kind of being called, lured into that becoming, to step on to the path of love. We're always stepping onto the path of love.
Because we always fall off and then we have to step back on.
It's true.
Step back on.
It's true. So let's see if we can feel ourselves kind of rising onto that spiritual journey.
Anile dodi, vedodi li. 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 Anile dodi, vedodi li.
close your eyes and breathe into the heart. And feel yourself beloved. This unique refraction of God light that you are, each of us is. Irreplaceable, totally unique. And as we open up to that sense of being the beloved, it's like the love pours in, sends us to this kind of truth of our unity, and then overflows as our love overflows. So the central piece of our liturgy is the Shema, which begins the Ahava Rabbah, this great love is, pouring in, the sense of belovedness, pouring in as that great love that has loved us forever. And then we come to the Shema, this moment of paying so close attention that we come to the realization of our non-separateness, of the unity. And out of that place of unity, v'ahavta, and you shall love, and that love comes as a kind of an overflow, that we have been, in a sense, impregnated by that great love, and then what we birth is our own love. That's really the God love that's pouring through us.
In our unique refraction.
Yes. And you're very unique.
I'm especially unique.
Especially unique.
But then we all are.
Oh, and then you and you and you. And
yes,
you.
and
Oh my God! Look at all that light. So there is a kind of like a pathway to that becoming, that lure. What did Jane Houston call it? That deep maturation of the psyche. One of the great teachers of belovedness, Henri Nouwen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Nouwen. And he wrote a book called The Life of the Beloved.
Nouwen.
Did I say it right?
No.
Nouwen.
Nouwen.
Ah, that sounds very, very French.
That's better.
That's much more French. Thank you.
What she said.
Nouwen.
So this book was actually very influential in my life. The subtitle is called "Spiritual Living in a Secular World," and it's his communications with he was a priest, and he had a good friend who was a secular Jew, a New York Jew, and he wanted to kind of bridge the gap between that secular and religious language. So he said, and so I felt like it's really addressed to us. He says, "Dear friend, being the beloved is the origin and the fulfillment of the life of the Spirit." I say this because as soon as we catch a glimpse of this truth, we are put on a journey in search of the fullness of that truth, and we will not rest until we can rest in that truth. From the moment we claim the truth of being the beloved, we are faced with the call to become who we are. Becoming the beloved is the great spiritual journey we have to make. Becoming the beloved is the great spiritual journey that we have to make. So Psalm 63 holds the kind of a paradox about this journey. It says, Davkah nafshi acharecha. It's like I am searching for the beloved. I'm searching after that sense of oneness. I'm, getting a hint from that glimpse that I have of great beauty that sort of like calls me forth onto the spiritual path. So Davkah nafshi acharecha is being put on a journey in search of truth. And then it says, Bi tamchah yeminecha, which is, it literally means, while your strong hand supports me. And the way I understand it is, it is the resting in that truth. I'm searching after that truth, and at the same time, I rest into that truth. And that's the knowing that we are the beloved. We're searching for the beloved, and then we rest into the truth that we are the beloved. And I was saying earlier today that sometimes we just have a moment, just a glimpse, a sense of what that feels like to be the beloved. And that moment kind of sends us on the journey. And that moment also creates a space of kind of resting into that truth. So I see it as a kind of a paradox, and paradox always lends itself to be around, because you can sing one part and hear the other part, and both are true, but there's different dimensions of truth that happen. So let's try this practice, and this word, it's really amazing. Davkah. Davkah means, you ever heard that? Davkah? Davkah means devekut. Devekut is the cleaving to God. So my soul is searching after that place of utter connection, of that unity. And then there are moments when I just rest into that truth. Ready? Ready to live the paradox here?
Yes.
nafshi acharecha, Davkah nafshi acharecha, Davkah nafshi acharecha, Davkah nafshi acharecha, bi tamchah yeminecha, bi tamchah yeminecha, bi tamchah yeminecha, bi tamchah yeminecha. So searching here. Davkah nafshi acharecha, Davkah nafshi acharecha, Davkah nafshi acharecha, Davkah nafshi acharecha. And then resting into me. Tamchah yeminecha, bi tamchah yeminecha, bi tamchah yeminecha, bi tamchah yeminecha. Davkah nafshi acharecha, Davkah nafshi acharecha,
acharecha, Davkah, nafshi, acharecha, Davkah, nafshi, acharecha, Davkah, nafshi, acharecha, nafshi, acharecha, Davkah, nafshi, acharecha, Davkah, nafshi, acharecha, Davkah, nafshi, acharecha,
In the silence, close your eyes and feel first that expansion of your being that is searching after the beloved. Just sort of like pouring out of you, that expanding into space. The soul being lured forth into becoming. And then we get a glimpse. We find there's a moment of light, of awareness. And then we want to rest into it, sink into it, let it hold us. Lean back into that truth that holds us. The truth of unity. The truth of being the beloved. So that sense of leaning into the beloved allows us to kind of feel held and feel a kind of a buoyancy, that we're floating in the God field, and so I want to do this practice that's called the Divine Mikveh. And it's an amazing pasuk, sacred phrase from the prophet Jeremiah that says, it's literally translated. If you looked it up, it would say, God is the hope of Israel, because that's what that word mikveh is. It is the hope. So God is the hope of Israel. But the Hasidim translate it differently, because they see this kind of secret hidden inside it that says, oh no, God is a mikveh. God is the mikveh for Israel, for us. It means we can, actually we just came from soaking at Ojo Caliente, the hot springs in New Mexico. We spent 2 days just like leaning back into these waters and allowing them to hold us. And instead of thinking about God somewhere else, it's like, oh, here, God is holding me in this, this, in the Divine Mikveh. And when I can lean back into that and allow myself to be sort of buoyant, with that kind of sense of holding, of floating in God, rather than sort of, meeting or not meeting God. It's just like, oh, there God is holding me. And mikvah is a process of purification that brings us to hope, to hopefulness. It cleanses us of our cynicism and despair. Anybody need that right now? Anybody? Could use a little mikvah energy, a little purification. And the purification allows us to inhabit this essence that we are. So Henri says, every time you listen with great attentiveness to this voice that calls you the beloved, you will discover within yourself a desire to hear that voice longer and more deeply. It's like discovering a well in the desert. Once you have touched wet ground, you want to dig deeper. Once you've touched wet ground, you want to dig deeper. There's a hint of truth that you touched, and you say, oh, that's where it is. I'm imagining also the divining dowser, the divining rod. Oh, they call it a divining rod because it helps you find God. Right?
Right.
So I want to chant these words and let the sound of the chant kind of take us to the place of mikvah, of purification, and because that if we want to be able to become the beloved, I think that we have to clear some things away, and if anybody wants to just put in the chat, like, well, what would you like to clear away, that once you cleared that away, you would know that you were the beloved? Anybody? Anybody want to just say, what is it that keeps you from knowing that? Shame is a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, angst.
There's a pandemic of shame,
yeah,
too.
Fear, self-doubt, separation. So we're clearing that with control, the illusion of control, pain, procrastination. We're clearing all that away, discouragement. We're clearing that away so that we can find ourselves in the arms of the beloved. We find ourselves. We can become the beloved. So, are we ready to dive in, to lean back, to allow yourself to, trust that sense of floating in God. When these words actually just changed my relationship with God. Because I realized I was floating in God rather than reaching out for something, and which is really, really a different feeling. So, Mikvay Yisroayl, Havayah, Mikvay Yisroayl, Havayah. And as you chant, you might want to move like water. Mikvay
Mikvay Yisrael, Havayah. 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 Mikvay Yisrael, Havayah.
Imagine leaning back into that sense of buoyancy, trusting in those divine waters to float you, letting go of all of the tension in your body and your heart and your mind. Deeply relaxing, being lifted up by those waters. Just imagine all of those sort of layers of schmutz, all the things that we mentioned, all those layers just falling away, dissolving. And really what we're clearing is the kind of the layers of false self, the layers of defense that we build up so that we can find that, that authentic being, that essence at our core.
I think it's already there. If I clear away all the schmutz and all the stuff, I don't have to do or be anything. I mean, it's right there. There I am, shining and loving and kind and compassionate and all those things, sportive.
From your mouth to God's ear.
There it goes. It's like a text.
So, this being lured into that becoming, into that, to find the beloved, you must become the beloved, and this is the pathway there. And there's one last practice that I want to do tonight in this time of being the beloved, and it's a practice that I called yours. It's yours, and it's a good way, like to be able to say. I guess there was something that somebody said, like control, the illusion. It's the illusion of control. We're holding on tight, and the moment we release that to the God field, then we are connected to that power that is moving through us. So the text from Psalm 74 says, "L'cha yom," yours is the day. "L'cha aflecha laila," and yours is the night. And so we're sort of saying, like, there is really no duality. The things that I think are good and the things that I think are bad, it's all you. It's all you in all of your disguises. Yours is the day, yours is the night, yours is the dark, yours is the light. And then that sense of the beloved, you say, I am yours. Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I am yours and you are mine. And wherever I look, it's you that I find, whether it's like in the deepest, darkest places, in the places that have great light. So this is a practice of surrendering to that larger truth, and I like to do it as a bowing practice. Because it gets me out of my head, and into my heart, and every, and so Raphael will keep, that chant of L'cha yom aflecha laila, L'cha yom aflecha laila. So if you feel like, just being wild here and doing a little bit of bowing here, every time you say l'cha, you're sort of giving it over, and And then you just gently roll yourself back up. L'chaim,
Aflecha laila, l'chaim, aflecha laila, l'chaim, aflecha laila, l'chaim, aflecha laila, l'chaim, aflecha laila, l'chaim, aflecha laila,
yours is the day. Yours is the night. Yours is the dark. Yours is the light. I am yours and you are mine. Wherever I look, it is you that I find. Yours is the day. Yours is the night. Yours is the dark. And yours is the light. I am yours and you are mine. Wherever I look, it is you that I find. Yours is the day. Yours is the night. Yours is the dark. Yours is the light. I am yours and you are mine. Wherever I look, it is you that I find. Yours is the day. And yours is the night. Yours is the dark. Yours is the light. I am yours and you are mine. Wherever I look, it is you that I find. Yours is the day. Yours is the night. Yours is the dark. And yours is the light. I am yours and you are mine. Wherever I look, it is you that I find. Yours is the day. Yours is the night. Yours is the dark. And yours is the light. I am yours and you are mine. Wherever I look, it is you that I find. Yours is the day. Yours is the night. Yours is the dark. And yours is the light. I am yours and you are mine. Wherever I look, it is you that I find. Yours is the day. Yours is the night. Yours is the dark. And yours is the light. I am yours and you are mine. Wherever I look, it is you that I find. Yours is the day. Yours is the night. Yours is the dark. And yours is the light. I am yours and you
aflecha laila, lecha hayom, 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 aflecha laila.
Softer. Silently. In full voice. Yours is the day.
aflecha
Yours is the night.
laila, lecha
Yours is the
hayom,
dark.
aflecha
And yours is
laila,
the
lecha hayom, aflecha laila, lecha hayom, aflecha laila.
Close your eyes, breathe into the heart. And just with the breath, just give away all of those layers of false self. Breathe in that truth. The search for the beloved is the lure of human becoming. As you allow the beloved to grow within you, you will discover a steadfastness to the spiritual journey that comes your way in the most remarkable fashion. It will seem that you have been clearly put on a journey of transformation that provides for a deep maturation of the psyche and access to the potentials of your own being. And we do this practice together. We amplify those possibilities. And if you want to just open your eyes and just look into the faces of that potential, we can look around the KZOOM room and see.
Hey, everybody. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, to be able to practice together in this way, such a miracle.
It charges me up every week, so I don't know, I couldn't do it without without our KZOOM.
It's like, wow.
We really appreciate you.
Yeah.
So,
So when if you feel moved to go to the website, there's actually something new on my website. I want to invite you to go check out the flavors of praise, some hallelujahs, and to sort of explore the power of praise together. Check out. So you can go to, it's on the homepage of the website. It said flavors of praise, and while you're there, if you want to give a little donation in honor of what you have received. Oh, Aliyah put in the flavors of praise
good.
thing too, link. And And so anybody who would like to just take a few 10 minutes
Need to leave.
to
Bye. Love you.
to check in and sit with